My channel. My name is Will. Today we're going to be looking at 10 cultural differences between the UK and the Philippines. In the past few years I've been to the Philippines a number of times, and if you add up all the times I've been there over a year, and in that time I noticed some big differences culturally between there and the UK, as you would probably expect. Probably a lot of these cultural differences are relatable with Europe and North America versus Asia, or the West versus the East. But I can only accurately compare the UK with the Philippines, since they're the only two places I spent a long time in, even if I have visited other countries as well. The first cultural difference we're going to be looking at is how elders are treated. In the Philippines, younger people have to bless their elders and they have to address them with po and opo, and even if someone's slightly older than them, they'll call them ate or kuya. In the UK, we don't have anything like this, and we're kind of all just treated the same, and we don't really treat elders that differently. The only difference I can really think of would be if we're in public transport and then all the seats were being used up, and then sometimes if a senior citizen would walk in, a younger person would offer them a seat, but a lot of times now that doesn't even happen that much anymore, which is quite sad. But in the Philippines, elders are always treated a lot differently and with a lot of respect. The second cultural difference is in the Philippines, everyone seems to have a crush, and they're always asking each other, who's your crush? Or do you have a crush? But in the UK, we never really use this word, and if we would use it, it's only really used by young children. But in the Philippines, everyone seems to ask each other if they have a crush. And even if you're married or if you have a boyfriend, people just ask as like a joke, who's your crush? And they'll joke that that person is their crush, but yeah, we don't really have this at all in the UK. The next cultural difference is the sports. In the Philippines, the sports that they're into are really influenced by America. I think basketball is the biggest sport there, the most popular sport. Whereas in the UK, we're really into football, and then we have other sports as well. A lot that were invented in this country, like rugby and cricket. And then we're also into motorsport as well. Formula 1 is really popular in my country. But the biggest by far is football. But in the Philippines, football hasn't really caught on that much, even though a lot of countries around the Philippines, like Indonesia and Malaysia, they're now really into football, but it still hasn't really spread as much to the Philippines. They're also into boxing a lot in the Philippines, and a lot of Filipinos even consider beauty pageants as one of their main sports, although I don't think anyone here in the UK would really consider that a sport. And they often say in the Philippines the three Bs: beauty pageants, boxing and basketball. The next cultural difference we're going to be looking at is being on time versus Filipino time. Filipinos seem to have a really relaxed culture where they don't seem to care too much about being on time, or they don't rush that much. They always take their time getting up in the morning, or if they have a planned schedule, they won't always stick to that time exactly. In the UK, we kind of have to be on time, and it's rude if we're even 5 minutes late to a scheduled meeting. But in the Philippines, it doesn't seem to matter too much. If someone plans something with their friends, they'll both usually turn up an hour later than they said. But in the UK, we kind of have to be on time because we're brought up to be that way. The fifth cultural difference we're going to be looking at is family closeness. In the Philippines, families are really close, and it's really common for them to stay together and for children to live with their parents until they get married.
Caraga, the land of the brave and fierce. The history of Caraga can be traced back to the 15th century, when explorers discovered the existence of Caligans, believed to be of Visayan origin in one of the 3 districts in Mindanao. The word Caraga originated from the Visayan word Caligan, Kalag meaning soul or people, and in meaning land. The Caligans have a long history of being brave and fearless. Thus, the region was called by early chroniclers as the land of the brave and fierce people. The region of Caraga has long provided its people with wide array of food sources, extensive water resources, and rich mineral deposits. The Agusan del Norte and Surigao del Sur are blessed with the abundant food resources such as rice, coconut, corn, mango, bananas, palm oil, vegetables, prawns. They are also blessed in water resources including marlin, tuna, lapu-lapu, mollusks, crabs, even squid, stingrays, and octopuses. Caraga region is home to some of the favored tourist destinations among local and international tourists. Amongst the attractions are some of the historical sites, ancestral houses, Extreme adventures in caves that give inspiration to avid travelers. And some of the various tourist destinations are the Bega Falls, Enchanted River, Tinuian Falls, the white and pink sand beaches of Britannia Group of Islets, Carmen dive spots, the breathtaking coves and stingless white and brown jellyfishes of Bukas Grand Group of Islets, and many more.